I can feel the fat burning. Ada panted, her belly jiggling as she jumped up and down. Sweat beaded her forehead, despite the air conditioner blasting at full force. She grinned as if she had just discovered the ultimate weight loss secret. Suddenly, ah! My bum bum! My leg! My waist! A loud thud followed. Upstairs, Osinachi, who had been enjoying a football match, dropped his remote and bolted downstairs like a man possessed. The sight before him nearly made him turn around and head right back up. Sprawled on the floor, in what looked like a yoga pose gone wrong, was his beloved wife, Ada. One leg was twisted behind her back, the other flung forward, her arms stretched out like a fallen superhero. Jesus is Lord, Ada! Did you fight with gravity and lose? Osinachi exclaimed, his hands on his head. Ada winced. I was just exercising, and my leg decided to betray me. Exercising or auditioning for a karate movie? Osinachi folded his arms. Why do you keep trying to kill yourself in the name of losing weight? It's not my fault. The scale hates me. My wedding dress is somewhere laughing at me. Osinachi sighed, shaking his head. Come on, let me help you up before the neighbors come in here thinking I did something to you. She stretched her arms out dramatically. Lift me like a princess, my love. Osinachi chuckled. More like a bag of rice. Oh, see. He burst into laughter, but helped her up, wrapping his arms around her in a comforting hug. That evening, when Osinachi returned from work, Ada greeted him with a big smile. Go shower first, I'm making dinner, she said sweetly. He raised an eyebrow. That smile looked suspicious. Go and bathe, Jerry. Minutes later, Osinachi sat at the dining table, his plate piled with steaming fufu and egusi soup. Ada, however, sat beside him, sipping what looked like a witch brew and nibbling on a single carrot. Osinachi paused mid-bite. Ada, why are you drinking that thing and eating rabbit food? She sipped loudly and sighed. This is my only meal today, breakfast, lunch and dinner combined. Osinachi nearly choked. Since when did starvation become a diet plan? Do you want to be the first person to have a statue erected in her honor for vanishing into thin air? Have to be disciplined, Osi. You won't understand. He rolled his eyes. I understand that you are a Nigerian woman, not a squirrel. She ignored him, continuing to sip her concoction while he reluctantly ate alone. Later that night, a loud bang jolted Osinachi awake. He reached for Ada. She wasn't beside him. Panic set in. He grabbed an empty flower vase for protection and tiptoed downstairs. In the dim light of the kitchen, Ada was caught red-handed, sitting in front of 5 wraps of fufu and a mountain of egusi soup, eating like a thief in the night. Ada! Osinachi whispered harshly. What is this? Ada froze. Her eyes wide. She swallowed and wiped her mouth. I was just making sure the food wasn't wasted. At midnight? Yes, because that's when the spirit of wastefulness is most active. Osinachi burst into laughter and shook his head. Move over, abeg, let me join you. No one should suffer alone. She giggled and they ate together before sneaking back to bed like criminals. Sunday arrived. Ada and Osinachi wedding anniversary. Osinachi had left early for an urgent work meeting, but had arranged a surprise. A delivery arrived for Ada, a stunning, form-fitting purple lace dress. Excited, she ran to the mirror to try it on, but the moment she saw herself, her heart sunk. The dress hugged her body in all the right places, but her mind twisted the image. So this is his plan. He wants me to be a laughingstock, to parade my big stomach for the world to see. Tears welled up in her eyes. She yanked the dress off and rummaged through her wardrobe. Her hands landed on a large, flowing, rainbow-colored bubu gown, the perfect shield from judgment. At the fancy restaurant, Osinachi was waiting at their reserved table when he heard murmurs and suppressed laughter. He brushed it off, assuming it was unrelated. Then his phone rang. Baby, I'm outside, Ada said. Second later, she walked in and Osinachi's jaw nearly dropped to the floor. The oversized bubu swallowed her whole. She looked like she had borrowed clothes from a traveling masquerade troupe. Osinachi's eyes widened. Ada, what in the name of cultural misrepresentation are you wearing? He whispered as she sat down. She frowned. What do you mean? The dress I sent you, did it get lost in transit, kidnapped, vanished into another dimension? She huffed. Oh, see, please. That dress would have drawn unnecessary attention. He leaned closer, his voice dry with amusement. My love, this outfit is drawing all the unnecessary attention. Even the waiter looks confused. She glanced around and noticed a few stares, but remained adamant. This is comfortable. Osinachi sighed. The waiter arrived and he ordered the most expensive dishes, eager to spoil his wife. But Ada, I'll just have water, she said primly. Osinachi's eyes nearly popped out. Water? Yeah? Do you know how much I deposited to reserve this table? She sipped her water dramatically. It's okay, Osi, I'm full. Osinachi stared at his wife in disbelief. Full from her? Yes, she sipped her water with unnecessary grace, as if she had just enjoyed a five-course meal, but her stomach betrayed her. As Osi lifted a spoonful of jollof rice to his mouth, a soft growl echoed across the table. Ada froze. He paused. Their eyes met. Osinachi smirked. Did you hear that? Ada shook her head violently. No, must be the chair moving. Chair? The chair under me, Ada. She cleared her throat and looked away. He took another bite, and Ada's eyes unconsciously followed the spoon journey to his mouth. She blinked slowly as if savoring the taste through him. He took another spoon. Her lips parted slightly. He chewed, she swallowed. A piece of rice dropped from his plate. Ada's eyes widened. Osinachi sighed. You're literally drooling, Ada. I am not. You're so hungry. Your eyes are eating on my behalf. I said I'm fine. Osinachi dropped the spoon with a loud clank. You know what? I'm taking the rest of this as takeaway. The waiter arrived with the food neatly packed. The ride home was silent, uncomfortably silent. Ada shifted in her seat. Osi, no response. She poked his arm. He tightened his grip on the steering wheel. She sighed dramatically. Why are you acting like I stole your bride price? Still nothing. By the time they got home, Osinachi grabbed his food and went inside without a word. Ada watched him confused. I don't understand this man. Osinachi showered and laid down in the living room, scrolling through his phone, still upset. Ada peeked from the bedroom door, biting her lip. She disappeared. Minutes later, she reappeared, now dressed in a short, silky nightgown that clung to her body in all the right places. She tiptoed towards him and slid onto the couch beside him. Baby, she whispered. Silence. She gently placed her hand on his chest, tracing small circles. Osi, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. He sighed, but didn't look at her. I know you love me, she continued, but I just don't feel beautiful right now. Osinachi finally turned to face her. His expression softened. He reached out and tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear. Ada, do you think I married you for your size? She swallowed. No. Then why do you keep acting like your weight changes how I feel about you? Tears welled up in her eyes. Because I see myself differently. Osinachi pulled her closer, pressing his forehead against hers. Listen to me, he whispered, his voice low and deep. I love you. If you gain weight, I love you. If you lose weight, I love you. Whether you become as thick as pounded yam or as slim as a broomstick, I will love you. She let out a small teary laugh. A broomstick, Osi. He chuckled and kissed her forehead. Come here, my love. She melted into his embrace, their fingers intertwining. The next morning, Osinachi woke up to an empty bed. He frowned. Where's this woman? He checked the bathroom, empty. The kitchen, empty. The front door was slightly ajar. He stepped outside and saw their neighbor, Mr. Patrick, stretching by his car. Good morning, sir. Did you see Ada? Osinachi asked. Mr. Patrick laughed. Ah, your wife. I saw her running like a fugitive down the street. Osinachi blinked. Running? Yes, she was jogging, but she was also arguing with a roasted plantain seller about the price of bole while running in place. Osinachi rubbed his temples. This woman will not kill me. He hopped into his car and started driving around. Then his phone rang. Hello? Hello, sir. Are you the husband of the woman in the yellow tracksuit? A concerned voice asked. Osinachi's heart pounded. Yes, where is she? She fainted on the road, though. We are taking her to the hospital now. Osinachi nearly threw his phone. Which hospital? As he arrived into the hospital like a madman, he spotted Ada laying on the hospital bed, looking weak and dazed. Ada! He ran to her side. She blinked up at him and tried to smile. Hey, baby. Osinachi folded his arms. Don't hey, baby me. What happened? She sighed dramatically. I think I burned too many calories. Osinachi looked up at the ceiling, as if asking God for patience. How long have you been starving yourself? I just wanted to lose weight fast, she mumbled. Osinachi sat beside her and held her hand. Ada, I love you. But if you ever do something this crazy again, I'll tie you to a chair and force feed you pounded yam every day. She laughed weakly. That's a threat and a promise. He leaned down and kissed her hand. You are perfect the way you are, my love. No more starvation, okay? She nodded, okay. Then her stomach growled loudly. Osinachi burst into laughter. Nurse, please bring food before my wife disappears completely. Ada groaned. Oh, see. Ada was alone at home, lazily scrolling through her phone when it buzzed. She glanced at the screen and grinned. Sandy, baby, she sang, answering the call. Ada, my love. Sandra's dramatic voice boomed through the speaker. Ada chuckled. My gossip queen, what's up? Sandra wasted no time. You won't believe who I saw today. Who? Oma. Ada's face instantly changed. A smile fluttered. Oma, as in that Oma. The one and only, oh. Ada sighed and leaned back. And just like that, she was pulled into the past. The hall was bustling with excitement. Ada, Sandra, and a few old classmates were laughing at the table when a sharp voice cut through the air. Wow, Ada, you've added, oh. Silence. Ada turned slowly and saw Oma, standing there with her perfectly toned arms crossed and eyebrow raised in judgment. She was wearing a sleek red dress, every inch of her screaming I'm better than you. Ada laughed awkwardly. Oh, Oma, long time no see. Oma smirked. Long time, yes, but it be like say you've been eating since the last time we saw. Laughter erupted from a few classmates. Sandra's eyes widened. Excuse you? But Oma continued, twirling a strand of her expensive weave. You know, Ada, if you're not careful, your husband will soon start looking outside. Men like women who take care of themselves. Ada's face burned. She forced a smile, pretending the words didn't sting, but deep inside something cracked. Ada blinked, snapping out of the painful memory. That witch? Sandra chuckled. So, aren't you going to ask me what happened to her? Ada rolled her eyes. Fine. What about Oma? Sandra sighed dramatically. Babe, her husband just left her for another woman. Ada nearly choked on air. Wait, what? Oma? Sandra hummed. The same one that was forming fitness queen. She was busy maintaining a flat tummy, while her husband was flat packing his things to go and meet another woman. Ada was speechless. Sandra continued. See, I told you being slim doesn't keep a man. It's your character, how you treat him and how you love yourself that matters. You let one comment from a bitter woman make you hate your body. Ada swallowed hard. She suddenly felt silly. All this time, she had been punishing herself, thinking she wasn't good enough for Osinachi. Sandra's voice softened. Ada, you have a man who adores you. Stop letting people who don't matter dictate how you see yourself. Ada smiled. Sandra, baby, you always know what to say. Sandra laughed. That's why you love me now. Now go and eat something before I report it to Osinachi. They both laughed before ending the call. Ada sat still for a while, staring at the purple lace gown Osinachi had bought for her. A slow smile crept onto her lips. Tonight, she would make things right. The house smelled divine. Ada had gone all out. A lavish feast sat on the dining table. Steaming jollof rice, grilled chicken, peppered snails, and a freshly baked cake. A bottle of fruit wine sat elegantly beside two glasses. She adjusted her ginger wig, the waves cascading over her shoulders. The purple lace gown hugged her cuffs perfectly, making her feel like a queen. As she heard Osinachi car pull into the driveway, her heart pounded with excitement. The door opened. Osinachi stepped in, looking exhausted from the day. At that time, he froze. His eyes widened as he took in the sight before him. His wife, looking like a goddess, standing before a table set for a romantic dinner. Ada, he breathed. She smirked. Welcome home, my love. Osinachi dropped his work bag and slowly approached her, his gaze locked on her like she was the only woman in the world. You are breathtaking, he murmured, running his fingers through her soft wig. She blushed. You like? He chuckled, cupping her face. I love. She wrapped her arms around his neck. I realized something today, she whispered. What's that? That I have a man who loves me. In sickness and in sin, Osinachi smiled, his hand sliding down her waist. Always. He leaned in and kissed her deeply, pouring every ounce of love into it. As they sat down to eat together, Ada didn't count calories. She didn't hesitate. She laughed, she ate, she lived. And in that moment, she finally understood. She was enough, just as she was.